The Lavender Witch Quest of the Supreme. The jungle air was thick with the scent of damp earth and unseen blossoms. Beside a cascading waterfall that whispered secrets to the stones, 3 figures, a centaur, a troll, and a goblin, stood frozen in rock, pulsing with a soft internal light. Their quests were complete. Before them stood Kelvin, the Lavender Witch, an elegant figure in a sweeping lavender gown, her long blonde hair tucked beneath a matching wide-brimmed hat. From the shadows of the banyan trees, a colossal white tiger emerged, his stripes like strokes of gray ink on snow. "Well done," Baihu's voice rumbled, not in a roar, but in a tone as deep as the jungle itself. "Rest now, witch. Your final task will start under the night sky." With a flick of his tail, a feast appeared on a blanket of leaves, and beside it, a bed of the softest moss. He presented 2 final rewards: a vial of swirling black liquid that glowed with poisonous intent, and a rough, brown stone that hummed with the ancient magic of the earth. As she reached for them, the vial and the stone dissolved into pure light, sinking into her skin. A jolt of dark power and unyielding strength coursed through her. Utterly spent, Kelvin sank into the moss bed and fell into a profound, dreamless sleep. The moon was high and full when Kelvin's eyes fluttered open. Baihu stood over her, his form immense against the star-dusted sky. "The night is here," he rumbled. "Are you ready?" Kelvin sat up, shaking the last vestiges of sleep away with a yawn. "I guess so," she murmured. Suddenly, a blinding light erupted from the tiger. Baihu swelled to an impossible size, his fur transmuting into ethereal gold leaf armor. A great horned helmet materialized on his head. With a roar that shook the very trees, he charged. Kelvin didn't hesitate. She summoned her broom and shot into the night sky. Pointing a finger, she called down a bolt of jagged, lavender-hued lightning. It struck Baihu's armor with a deafening crackle, but dissipated harmlessly, leaving not a single scorch mark. Baihu swiped with a claw the size of a boulder, the air screaming as it passed. Kelvin zipped away on her broom, the wind from the blow nearly tearing her from her seat. She had to think faster, hit harder. "Let's see how you handle this," Kelvin shouted, weaving her hands in a complex pattern. Thick, thorny vines of pure lavender energy erupted from the jungle floor, twisting and coiling around Baihu's legs, trying to ensnare him. With a contemptuous roar, Baihu flexed. The magical vines shattered into a million sparkling lavender fragments. He was not just armored, he was impossibly strong. He fixed his glowing eyes on her, a low growl rumbling in his chest. It was Baihu's turn. He opened his jaws and unleashed a torrent of crackling yellow lightning. Kelvin threw her hands forward, weaving a shield of pure, solid lavender light. The first bolts crashed against it, the shield groaning under the strain. The lightning was relentless, a blinding storm of energy. Kelvin gritted her teeth, pouring all her focus into the shield. Cracks like spiderwebs began to form across its shimmering surface. She couldn't hold it for much longer. With a sound like shattering glass, the lavender shield exploded. A bolt caught Kelvin, sending a searing jolt through her as she tumbled from the sky, her broom clattering away into the darkness. She hit the ground hard, the air knocked from her lungs. Before she could even gasp, Baihu leaped, landing before her with a ground-shaking thud. He unleashed an insane torrent of fire, turning the night into a blazing inferno. Scrambling backward, she threw up another, weaker shield. The sheer force of the flamethrower sent her flying, slamming her hard into a large boulder. Bruised, smoking, and aching in every bone, Kelvin struggled to her feet. Her lavender magic, her pride, her very essence as a witch, was not enough. The elegant, powerful spells that had defeated every other foe were like whispers against a hurricane. "This won't work," she gasped, looking at her trembling, glowing hands. She needed more. More defense, more power. As the thought formed, the brown rock's magic, dormant within her, surged to answer her need. A deep, earthy warmth spread from her core. Her elegant lavender dress began to shift, the soft fabric hardening, its color deepening to a rich, solid brown. The transformation swept over her. Her dress rewove itself into an elegant, short armor of solid, unyielding rock. Her hat and heels followed suit, becoming stone. The lavender witch was gone. In her place stood Kelvin, the rock witch. She met Baihu's gaze, a new, unshakable fire in her own eyes. She stomped a stone-shod foot, and the very ground trembled in response. "Let's do this." Baihu charged again, a golden comet of fury. But this time Kelvin didn't dodge. She slammed her hands onto the ground. With a deafening groan, a massive wall of solid rock erupted from the earth, meeting the tiger's charge head-on. The impact was colossal. The rock wall cracked and groaned under the force of the blow, but it held. Dust and pebbles rained down as Baihu was thrown back, roaring in frustration and surprise. For the first time, his attack had been stopped cold. Kelvin didn't give him a moment to recover. She thrust her hands forward, and the ground beneath Baihu's paws turned to thick, grasping mud. Then sharp stalagmites of rock shot up, trying to pierce the gaps in his golden armor. Baihu roared, stomping his mighty paws and shattering the rock spikes. He leaped into the air, escaping the mud, and unleashed another torrent of yellow lightning from his jaws, aiming to blast her from above. The lightning struck Kelvin directly, but this time there was no shield to shatter. The bolts crashed against her stone armor, which glowed red-hot but did not break. The raw power of the storm washed over her, and she stood her ground, unmoving and unharmed. A slow smile spread across Kelvin's face. Her stone armor was not just for defense. It absorbed energy. She could feel the lightning's power thrumming within her, mixing with the dark, poisonous magic she had yet to use. Her eyes began to glow with a sickly green light. "My turn," she whispered.